Hey everybody, and welcome to Old Roommates. Today on the show, it's my birthday, people.
Woohoo!
So, as is tradition, we make the other one watch a movie they've never seen before. I made Christina watch 1985's The Goonies. Did I enjoy it upon rewatch? Did Christina enjoy it at all? Join us now for this new episode of Old Roommates.
Welcome everyone to Old Roommates, the only podcast that revisits pop culture through a middle-aged lens. This is Christina.
And this is Brian.
And Brian, happy birthday.
Finally.
Oh my God. Can you imagine if I said happy birthday before I did the tagline? You would have had a heart attack. That was my birthday gift for you. You would have had a complete heart attack. I was remembering, actually, as you were doing that opening, remember last birthday you had? I had a little cupcake for you.
Oh my God.
And you totally
I
screwed it up
ruined
and
it,
saw the cupcake. And he's never been in that area ever since either. It was like the one and only time he was ever in that area.
Oh my God.
So anyway, so we revisited, you revisited and I visited.
Yeah, that's right.
The Goonies.
Yeah.
Is it The Goonies or Goonies?
The Goonies.
I just wrote Goonies.
June 7th, 1985.
Okay.
So now, just a little history here. So the first one I made you watch on my birthday was Xanadu.
Yes.
The second one was
Moonstruck?
The third one, I can't believe this is the fourth.
I know.
The third one was The Neverending Story.
Right.
Which was one of our most listened to episodes of the
gosh.
year. And this one is The Goonies. And I'm going to say something, because I know we always start with then.
Yes.
The first time I saw The Goonies. I'm going to be very clear. The Goonies is not one of my favorite movies. But I'm doing this, and I'm doing this for the people. The Goonies is consistently one of, if not the most requested movie we get for people saying, when are you going to revisit The Goonies? When are you going to rewatch The Goonies? And the reason is we haven't been able to is because Christina's never saw it to begin with.
Right.
So here we are. This is really for the people.
Here we are.
And so June 7th, 1985, I definitely saw this movie in the theater. I don't remember the circumstances. And I remember really getting a kick out of it, but really thinking at the age of 13 that these were bad kids.
Yeah.
That was my thing. It was like, I really liked the adventure and the water slide and all that stuff and walking the plank. I was really disturbed by Sloth. And I really thought the kids were just kind of brats. It was like, I don't know, I think I always felt I was a little older than I was because I was the oldest of 5 kids.
Yeah.
And I just remember thinking, like, these little shits are like, they're just bad kids. They swear, they break stuff, they're really obnoxious, they never shut up. Mm-hmm. And so as much as I liked the story and the adventure, I didn't really like the characters. Mm-hmm. And so, even though when it came on VHS, I definitely... Oh my God, you are yawning in my face right now. It's my birthday.
I was trying to...
Liven up, girl. So,
liven up your story a bit.
But I will say, like, when it came on VHS, I think I played it a lot in the video store. It is a total crowd pleaser. Most people love this movie. It's why people keep wanting us to revisit it. That is my story. I liked it then. I didn't love it then, but I get it.
I see.
So here we go. You have No Then, because you've never seen it before.
I have No Then.
So it was directed by Richard Donner, who we've done some revisits of his movies. I can't believe this is the same director as The Omen.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
The Toy, Lethal Weapon, all 4 of them.
What a weird...
Scrooged, and The Goonies. And The Goonies is obviously in the middle there, but he did Superman.
What a strange,
filmography.
Yeah, exactly.
But amazing. Richard Donner was amazing. He just died in 2021. It was written by Chris Columbus, from a story by Steven Spielberg. So that's the gist. Christina, I actually want to start with you.
Interesting. So I did not know what to expect from this movie.
Okay.
So I remembered a little bit about it, but I think it's because of the Not Enough video, right? Not Enough? Is that what it's called? Good Enough. Sorry. Good Enough.
Goonies are good enough, yeah.
Yes. The Good Enough video from Cyndi Lauper, which
yes.
had a lot of different clips in it.
And wrestlers.
And wrestlers.
Yeah.
She always had the wrestlers.
Yeah.
I was trying to explain that to Emily. Actually, we were watching the video afterwards, and we're like, she's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Yeah, she had like this like interesting relationship with wrestlers." So anyway, I think I had a different idea of what this movie was about, like based on the
clips and history.
Yeah. And yeah, so I really thought it was more. I don't know. I think I don't know what I felt like. For some reason, I felt like they were like traveling through caves throughout the whole movie, almost like just looking for treasure and stuff like that, which is kind of what it was, but it wasn't. I don't know. It just seemed like a little bit. In my mind, it was more blockbustery, I guess.
In your mind,
in my mind,
like a
based
bigger.
Yeah, it was just
situation.
A little bigger,
Okay.
like almost like a Romancing the Stone, or
Okay.
Something like that. So I was kind of surprised at like the premise of it. I felt like sort of the premise of it was a little bit weak. I felt like the beginning part was a bit long. I was waiting for the adventure, and so I'm like, all right, so what's going on here? They're like tearing down their house, so they need to find so they find a map and looking for treasure to save their house. Like it just seemed a little fuzzy to me. I didn't understand how they put that all together, or how like they could even figure out, like if they're the ones that are figuring this out, like why didn't anybody else figure this out? Why are you laughing at me right now?
Christina. Yes. That's what I'm saying. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just couldn't figure out like why didn't any adults figure this out way ahead of time?
This movie suffers so much when anyone with a brain, like truly, it is all spectacle. Little of it makes any sense.
Yeah.
It is like, it does not, it really, I think, I'm shocked that, I wonder, I want to actually talk to like older folks, people 20 years older than us, to be like, hey, when you took your kid to see the Goonies, did you like it? I just wonder how much common sense, but here's the thing. Did you watch the deleted scenes?
I don't think I watched the.
Okay, because to your point.
Wait, did I? Yes, I did. We did, because there's a scene with the octopus in it.
That's right, because he says the octopus was really scary, and there's no octopus.
Exactly.
In the final cut.
Well, and it's so funny that you say that, because yes, at the end, of course, now we're jumping right to the end.
Yeah.
But he says that.
The octopus is really scary.
And I'm like, what octopus? And I feel like Matt and I actually had a conversation about the octopus, and he thought it was because of like the video, because I think it's in the video, like Good Enough Video. But then,
oh yeah, that is.
I was like, I think my interpretation was he was just making a lot of the stuff up to make it look like a better story.
Sounds scarier, yeah.
But yes, yes, we did end up, because then we were like, oh my god, there's the octopus.
But here's the thing: the other deleted scenes, I am shocked they cut them, because what you're saying is like, how did they even connect this was Oregon, or Oregon, however you say it.
Yeah.
How did they even connect this was Astoria? That is a deleted effing scene. They're in that convenience store. He sees the tourist map and he's like, wait a minute.
Yes.
And it's like, there's nothing says like this. They cut out, and there's another scene. I think I wrote them down.
Yeah. They were all good scenes.
Oh my god, he says, let's see. Tourist map is like, looks like the treasure map. Yep, let's see. And then he says, Mouth says to Mikey, how do we know someone else hasn't already found the treasure? And he says, maybe they have, but I don't remember hearing anything on the news. That's a very valid point.
Yes.
Then they actually talk about what they're going to say when they walk into the restaurant. But all of this is like, they cut these scenes that were kind of important.
They were very important. There were other scenes that they easily could have cut.
Because as it is right now, this kind of bullshit. When Mikey says in the attic, he says, hey, this is the line of dialogue, I swear to God. Hey, what's this? It's the least convincing line reading ever. And I wrote, I believe we call that, Mikey, a picture with 4 inches of dust on it, and no way in hell would that stick out to you for any reason whatsoever. Like, he's like, what's this? I'm like, you can't even see, like, it's just a dusty picture. You can't see through the dust. He goes, what's this? What is anything in that attic?
Yeah.
And then, like, of course, like, they see another picture covered with dust. He goes, what's this? It's like, there's no, what are you talking about? Why would you suddenly just look at these pictures and then, of course, the only way to look at them is to have Chunk break the glass by accident, right? He's like, hey, Chunk, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and Chunk breaks it.
Yeah.
Why not just wipe the dust off or open it from the back? Like, I get it, but Christina, this suffers for me from the thing I've talked about in many of these bigger movies, where it's like, cue chaos.
Yes.
All the kids talking at once. And I don't even know how you feel because I've been talking a lot, but continue. I have a lot to say.
Where was that? No,
but
I
you
just
said,
felt
but
like there was
how
a
do
lot
they know?
missing.
How did they connect the dots?
I couldn't
if this is
understand
even,
any of it. I couldn't understand why they were going the way they were. I couldn't understand how they knew they were going.
Yeah.
I didn't understand any of that stuff. I thought they were terrible planners. They didn't bring any flashlights. They didn't bring any like lanterns with water. Like they didn't like. I felt like that part was missing. I was.
Do you mean? I think you mean canteens.
What did I say?
Lanterns.
Oh,
with
yes.
Water.
Yeah, canteens. How did you know I meant that? Did I say that for water?
Yes.
you know me so well, Bri. But I was comparing it a little bit to Stand By Me in my mind. Really?
I wrote, this makes me long for those little kids in Stand By Me.
Yeah. I mean, it was just so... Like, I felt like the kids in Stand By, they had a reason. They were on this adventure. They planned.
They let each other finish a sentence.
Yeah, they actually had, like, a relationship with each other. Yeah. And I know that's kind of the point of the whole Stand By Me movie, and this wasn't the point of the Goonies, but it would have been nice for them to act like they were friends and to have an idea of what they were doing. It was just too disorganized for me. Like, way too disorganized. I thought the jailbreak was funny and cute.
The faked suicide was funny and cute.
I mean, it was cute. Yeah, I thought it was, I don't know. I enjoyed it, I guess.
Okay, no, good. It's fine.
For some reason.
It's
I don't know
fine.
why. Yeah. Josh Brolin was so cute and young.
So he was 17 in this.
Oh my gosh.
He is so cute.
Yeah.
So cute. And I remember thinking it then, too. I remember being like, oh my God. Sean Astin gets to like sit on his lap and hop around, right? And it's hard not to. It's hard not to think about.
Stop it.
But he was, so cute.
He was very cute. I felt like making fun and humiliating the chubby kid was really uncomfortable.
Truffle Shuffle.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all. I really didn't like that at all. I'm like, what the hell? Why? Like. I thought it was bad even for like an 80s movie. Like 80s movies are very politically incorrect. Yeah. There's a lot of problems that we would not be having in this day and age. But I thought it was even bad for an 80s movie.
There are a lot of things that were pushing the bounds of like what's sort of okay for PG.
Yeah.
Especially when you are imagining these are underage kids. Like Carrie Green is sitting in the passenger seat of the car. And the line she says is, he keeps trying to look down my shirt, but that's not what he's doing. He's trying to look up her skirt with the mirror. Remember, he tilts the mirror.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, if you touch that mirror one more time, I'm going to slap you in the face. And of course, the camera, unnecessarily so, has to cut to show what he's actually looking at. And he's trying to look at her underwear. That is really bad taste. Also in bad taste is, so Malf, the whole thing is Malf speaks Spanish, and they have this housekeeper that's going to help them pack up the house. He is basically threatening her with these sort of like, I hate to say that, but like with these sort of, saying, we're lock you with all the cucarachas. And there's some racist stuff in there.
Yeah, just really.
Talking about drugs and all this, and like cocaine and speed and like those, I just feel like, a little of that goes a long way. The one thing I did laugh, which should not probably be in a PG movie, is he says, that's where they have the sexual PG.
Yeah.
That's where they have the sexual torture devices, which is bad. But what is funny is later on it pays off because Josh Brolin is strapped to the chair with his workout gear, and he's on the floor and he's like, Rosalita, help me, please. And she's like, hey! She's like freaking out because she thinks it's like a sex torture thing. And she's like kicking across. But again, these are kids. These are teenagers. And so it's just, some of it's a little, didn't age well.
It was a bit much.
Yeah.
The mom, you recognize the mom, I'm sure.
She was in everything in the 80s. Yeah.
Mary Ellen Trainor. I recognized her from Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
The psychotherapist or whatever. I just liked her line, I would really like the house clean before they tear it down. That made me laugh.
Oh, it's funny. She also was in, isn't she the sister in Romancing the Stone? She's the one that gets kidnapped.
Oh, I think so. Yeah. I just wrote down, how many historical artifacts can they break in the attic?
Oh, my God. Christina, I wrote,
why
the franticness of kids getting together. I was like, a lot of, I have to read what I wrote, because it was a lot. It was so loud. The kids are sitting right in front of each other, and they're yelling in each other's faces. Everything is crashing and breaking. Screen doors, statues, knocking things over. For some reason, there is a Rube Goldberg contraption to get inside the house, which really going to set up every time someone comes over. It makes no sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
No sense. It makes sense for Data, who I love in this. Data, that makes sense for his house, but not for their house. And
Data, who is
from Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I don't know how to pronounce his name, but Ki Hung Kwan.
Mm-hmm.
And he just won a Golden Globe.
Yes, he did. And he was also in Temple of Doom, which I love.
Yes, that's right.
He is having a resurgence. Happy for him.
Yes.
Great character. I think he was probably my favorite kid.
He was definitely my favorite kid as well. I thought his inventions were very convenient. He just happened to have...
Hey, you would just criticize these kids for being unprepared, and now you're criticizing Data for being...
He wasn't anticipating... that's a movie choice. He wasn't anticipating... This adventure. He just always had inventions strapped to him.
But I mean, thank God he had a brain. Oh my God, these kids.
The only one.
But at one point I wrote, this is why I don't go to little kids' birthday parties.
Yep, for sure.
Okay.
I was curious why the old lady, the criminal old lady, let the kids in to the place in the first place.
I have that note. Why didn't I have it down? Why didn't she just say, we're closed?
Right.
Just say we're closed. That's all. Yeah. We're closed. They leave after that. The kids think they leave for good. Then they go in.
Yeah.
This movie's kind of long, right? It's an hour and 48.
It felt like really long.
So they could have saved all of that stuff. And I'm going to say something really controversial because I know he's a beloved character. Get rid of the sloth business.
I didn't understand that at all.
Need. It is in such poor taste. Clearly he was abused, dropped a bunch of times, as it said later on in the movie. He really adds nothing to this movie, and it's really jarring to watch now.
Yeah, and actually thinking back of what I thought the movie was for, I thought he was the villain.
Well, we talked about this with Beauty and the Beast. There's something when you're a kid, it's you're scared by scary looking people, but the whole thing is he's actually the hero. He's the nice guy in this. So But really, there's no need to learn that in the Goonies. You don't need that message.
I loved when she said, "Kids suck."
Loved it. Beautiful.
It was yep.
She was an Oscar nominee, Anne Ramsey.
Yep. It's actually a really good cast.
It's everyone. Well, do I mean that? Most of the actors in this are very good. I will say, but Anne Ramsey, she won a Best Supporting Actress Saturn Award for this movie.
No way.
And she was nominated for an Oscar for Throw Mama from the Train. But I love the tattoo on her arm. She's really, just really so good. Funny. So good. Very funny. When they're in the attic, I just heard, oy vey, here we go. It's that 80s classic chestnut of the chaotic thing. It's oh, wow, laser beams. So the Blu-ray that I watched had a making of the Goonies featurette. And it was Richard Donner. And I have to read the first line that he says in this documentary. One moment. Richard Donner, the director. This is the behind the scenes. I think the interesting thing about working with this many kids is that every night I'm completely contemplating suicide. And they show a lot of the scenes where the kids missed their marks, they weren't standing in the right places, they couldn't ad lib, and he struggled. And he said yes, did it come out great? but it's like corralling these kids it took
I bet
a
it
lot.
was. I wish I could
work.
remember. There was a quote from someone. I don't know who it was, and I don't know what movie they were referring to, but it was something to do with animals. And it was some director or somebody that had done movies with kids and movies with animals, and someone asked, "What would you prefer to work with, animals or children?" Yeah. And they said animals because they're more predictable.
Oh yeah, and so many like, Mikey, look. Oh, wow, laser beams, da-da-da. And Mikey has this thing where he mispronounces words.
Yeah.
And then Brandon corrects him, but the mother has the same sort of affliction with mispronouncing words. Let's see. What? I wrote, what luck. The very next dusty picture is a newspaper clipping of this very adventure, like the very map they just found 5 seconds ago. I mean, it's just, and they weren't even in the same part. That's the other thing. These pictures weren't even in the same part of the attic. It makes so little sense, and that those deleted scenes would have added a little bit of something to this.
For sure. It would have been a big difference for me, for sure.
Brand calls Mikey limp lungs at one point.
Oh my God.
Wow. Mikey has asthma. He needs an inhaler every second of his life. And his older brother calls him limp lungs.
And then at one point he just throws the inhaler away.
Nuts.
Not okay.
He clearly never
Clearly
never saw Hand That Rocks the Cradle.
Seriously.
Which came out several years later.
Who was it? Martha Plimpton said, I feel like I'm babysitting, but I'm not getting paid.
1,000. The truest line ever spoken.
Loved it. Yeah. It was like my favorite line in the whole movie.
I loved when Brand said, I remember that. I remembered a lot of these quotes. I did. Like when he said, I'm going to hit you so hard when you wake up, your clothes are going to be out of style. I love that line.
Yeah, that's good.
I will say, cuteness aside, Josh Brolin was really good in this. I love this scene where he's riding the little kid's bike.
Oh my God, he was so cute in that.
I bought that he was like, whoa, like really terrified on that little bike being held by like Troy in the car.
Yes, and what was I just gonna say? Oh, Joe Pantoliano.
Yeah, we got the toupee, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He is actually from Risky Business.
Yes.
He was like the villain in Risky Business, which we are going to be revisiting in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, or so.
Right. It's like a few weeks.
Yeah, we'll see.
If all goes well. But what's interesting about him is he's in the car, and I think it was Chucky. Is that his name, Chucky?
Chunk.
Chunk. So Chunk he like ran away somehow, and then he meets up with this guy in the car, right?
Yeah.
And whatever. But I noticed a big flaw in the movie. It was very exciting. Okay. I had to rewind it. I'm like, oh my God, Matt, rewind this for a second. He was singing.
Like Italian opera.
Yeah.
But that's not Pantaleone. That's Robert Davi.
Oh, sorry.
Robert Davi's a Bond villain guy.
Yeah. So he was singing, and then it pans to...
Oh my God, wait. Robert Davi is also in Showgirls. Remember the thing about I bet it's kind of weird not having guys come on you. Yeah, he owned the cheetah. Yeah. Sorry, I know they just got us an explicit rating. I'm sorry about that, but yeah, I mean that's Robert Davi.
I automatically do explicit. There's like one. I think it's the Muppet movie or something, but we didn't have it. Anyway,
sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
But no, so he's singing the opera, and then it pans to Chunk, and the rearview mirror is shown, and you can see his face in the rearview mirror. And he's not singing in the rearview mirror. But you can still hear him singing.
Weird.
And I'm like, oh my God, rewind that. I love catching stuff like that.
So Chunk, speaking of Chunk, in particular, is a lot. Yeah. I didn't really care for this performance. I'm not picking on a child actor. I'm not. But on rewatch, as a middle-aged person, he's a lot to deal with. I just wish, and it's not even the actor, I just wish he had funnier things to say. Mm-hmm. Like, he talks about, my mom's gonna kill me, and then it's like, and he's talking about gunshots, or was it pots and pans, and I have to go home. He does, these long, sprawling rants, and not a second of it is funny. Mm-hmm. He's like, as annoying as...
There's one part, I agree with you. I agree with you. There's one part that made me laugh.
Yes, I know. I agree.
Is it when there's like, tell us everything?
Yes, and he goes, all right.
I cheated on a history test in the 4th grade. And he's just going on and on and on. That part
was
made
good.
Me laugh.
But remember, that is broken up between other scenes.
Yes, it's true. It's true.
So yeah,
It goes back
but
and
that's
forth.
very funny. It's
Yes,
hilarious,
that
and
is really
I
funny.
think it's so ridiculous they're even listening to this. Like it's very funny.
It's like, shut up, kid.
Right.
They don't do that. I do have another problem with Chunk. I don't know
Chunk.
why I can't say his name.
Crunk.
Crunk. That's me reading my notes. He's hungry all the time.
Yes.
Yet, halfway through the movie, he happens to have a baby Ruth in his pocket to share with the sloth kid.
Probably for just emergency situations.
He's hungry all the time. Why
I know.
wouldn't he just eat the stupid baby Ruth?
I don't know. Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Christina, I agree. It's terrible.
Thank you.
I did LOL when Chunk said, "What if they're drug dealers?" And Data slaps him, and Chunk goes, "Ah!" Like it was just so. I don't know if it was like an acting
Just
thing.
random.
It was just stupid, and then Data goes, he's like, "Drug dealers," and slaps me. He goes, "Did you see those clothes? Drug dealers wouldn't be caught dead in those polyester rags." So funny.
my gosh.
I did laugh when Mikey says, so she brings the water, Anne Ramsey brings the water, and Mikey says, "Thank you, sir." She goes, "What?" He goes, "Ma'am."
Oh my
Nice
goodness.
of Mikey to slide the food over to Sloth.
That was nice.
And yet I maintain that Sloth should not, there's no need.
There was, yeah,
No need.
I
It
still
felt
don't understand why
really
he was there.
wrong. And talk about, you mentioned the baby Ruth in his pocket the whole time. There's no question that Sloth could have broken those chains anytime he wanted.
Yeah.
But chose that moment. So it's that's weird too.
Unless he just never had the, empowerment to do it or something. Maybe he just was,
Not
it's
clear.
just who I am, yeah.
Not clear.
But, yeah, it just, because he ends up saving the day somehow.
Well, yeah, because
But I think that Chunk saving the day would have been better.
I don't even know. What if there was no Sloth and just Chunk was just part of the group?
Yeah, exactly.
They could have done it on their own. They could have just outwitted some of these. I mean, I don't know. So, I just read. I really can't with Chunk. This is much later. And I wrote, someone should have pumped the brakes and all the shouting that Chunk does. It's
a lot.
He was shouting so much. I wrote, all these kids talk too much. I said, I do like Data and Mikey. They're the only ones that seem to speak with any real intention. The rest is noise.
Yep, I agree.
I love the bats. I love the piano. I did like the piano a lot. I loved the water slide.
I loved the water slide.
Yeah.
My only problem with the water slide is I wish they had shown Anne Ramsey going down it.
I had the same fucking Christina. I was like, wait a minute, they had to have gone down the slide.
They had to have.
Yeah, it's
it would
the
have
only
been
way.
great to see that.
That would have been really funny.
Yeah.
Yep, I wrote Data's inventions. You said they were convenient.
Very, yes.
I did like pinches of peril. In fact, in the deleted scene, he uses the pinches of peril again. So he does use the pinches of peril more than once.
What else? At the end, I actually really liked the fact that the parents were there. And I'm like, oh, good. They did notice their children were missing. Oh, good. They do care. They are looking for them. It was very refreshing in a movie like that.
Let me say, thank God, though, they didn't cut back and forth. To imagine the subplot of the parents looking for them, I wouldn't have wanted that. Thank God that was decided.
That was a good decision.
So I did rate the ending as fun, exciting, stupid, ridiculous. I actually liked the walking the plank stuff. I thought it was just kind of perfect for this kind of adventure.
Yeah.
Maybe, and then the big negative here, maybe I dropped you once. Okay, twice. Or twice. And I'm like, poor Sloth. This is sad.
It was kind of a downer, yeah.
Laughed out loud when Brand and Mikey's mom. So they see Brand and, what's the girl's name? Oh, damn it. Julie? I don't even know. And they're kissing. And the dad's like, Irving and Irene are their names. Irving is like, he makes a little noise. And Irene says, let her mother worry. But I'm going to tell you, this movie got to my heart, and I don't know why. It was bizarrely warm and fuzzy for this movie. When Data hugs his dad, and he says, you can't hug a photograph. And the father, remember what the father says?
That was nice. That was nice.
You know, remember what the father says? You're my greatest invention.
That was really, yes. Yep.
That got me
I
in the
remember
heart.
that scene too.
That was very surprising, very sweet. It definitely didn't register when I was 13.
No.
But I thought it was very sweet now.
That
Slothful.
surprises me that it didn't register when you were 13, because you had your own, like, father issues then. I would have thought it would have, like...
Maybe because I called bullshit.
Way.
Maybe called bullshit.
Yeah,
on
maybe.
It, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
there's no such thing as nice dads.
Dads don't hug.
Dads aren't loving. So Sloth is going to live with Chunk in his family. That's very nice.
Yeah,
Didn't see Chunk run it by his parents, but I'm sure it's
totally it's totally fine. I'm sure it's legal too.
Christina, they do realize this giant ship is still filled with gold.
Right.
And they just like watch it.
Like, bye.
You probably could have saved more than just your friends' houses, assuming what's the street value of those jewels. I hope it's worth enough to save the day.
Well, they were all excited about that just the marble case filled with them. So
yeah. That's what I mean.
Right.
But there's the ship right there. It's like, say, stop that ship. Those that gold is ours.
Should have at least said something, right?
No one said anything.
I did like that little twist of him when they're getting the jewels, and he's like, "No, that's One-Eyed Willie's.
Yes,
don't do that." And I'm like, "That was cool." I'm like, "Oh, that's nice," And I didn't even foresee it being a thing. Like, I should have.
Well, thank God they didn't touch it, because it was a booby trap.
Because it was a booby trap, yeah.
The other thing, I liked it then, I liked it now, is Corey Feldman saying the wishing well. And they realize it's that all these coins are just pennies.
Yes.
And he says, you know what, though? This one right here is mine. And it didn't come true. So I'm taking it back. Then he says, I'm taking them all back. I don't know. I don't agree with that. It would have been great if he just took the penny.
Yes, that would have been great.
Okay, the big question. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, actually, not even for you.
It's not for me.
Did you like it?
It was a disappointment for me.
Okay.
And I think it was because I expected it to be a little different than what it was.
Mm.
There were lots of flaws in it. And the thing was, people talk about this movie so much, I expected it to be very entertaining. It really wasn't very entertaining for me.
Okay.
It really wasn't that entertaining.
Did Emily watch it or no?
She watched it, and Matt had seen it before. I think he enjoyed the rewatch.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I asked. One thing that Emily did say the next day, because we watched the Good Enough video and all that. And one thing she did say was, she's like, Jesus, that song. And she didn't say Jesus.
Yeah.
But she's like, that song, I cannot get that song out of my head. So she was annoyed by the song. Because it is pretty much 2 words throughout the entire song. I mean, there's not much to it.
Also, the video is 2 parts.
Oh, I
remember that? Because she's stuck on the log.
I think we watched, because it was in the bonus features.
Yeah.
So I think it was the whole video I think we watched.
It was good that even though you didn't care for it, that you watched the deleted scenes. That was
Matt
good.
Really watched
you did your due diligence.
Yeah, Matt really watched it.
So I'm going to also, God, we're going to lose some fans, I think. But I'm going to say less. I liked it less than I did before. I just found it really annoying. A lot of the times when the kids have to interact at the same time, if you have not rewatched this in a while, rewatch it.
Please don't just be mad at us.
Don't be mad, because when they're all talking and yelling at each other, I mean, there are things, particularly even Martha Plimpton has some dialogue that she just says the same thing 3 times in a different order.
Yeah.
It's like, case in point, oh my God, my glasses. My glasses are broken. I can't, oh my God, what am I going to do without my glasses? Yeah. I can't see. It's like, Jesus, we get it, girl.
Okay, like, where's your glasses?
Like, make it funny. Make it funny. Like, I mean, I don't care if you talk a lot, but say something new or say something funny or fresh.
Yes, that's it. The new and fresh is what you want.
It is not there. And it's very annoying to me as a grown-up. Trust me, the adventure stuff, sliding down water slides and all that stuff, still seems super fun.
It's fun, yeah.
But just not quite enough to save it. As Mama's...
Matt had a good point. He's like, I'm surprised that nobody tried to recreate the water slide from Goonies.
Oh, yeah. Maybe they did at some point. I don't know. The budget, $19 million. It made $125 million. Okay. But, of course, it's one of those movies that live on forever. Let's see. that's believe it or not, because I already went over my the deleted scenes, right? Talked about the octopus, then we talked about Richard Donner.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's all my notes.
That's all my notes. And now it's time for our questions.
Yes.
What do you have, Christina?
Do you have a match game?
Don't. I have an FMK again.
Okay, that's okay. It stirs things up a bit.
Okay.
Okay, so do you want to do your FMK
I'll
first?
do mine, sure.
Okay.
I know usually you do FMKs, but I'm glad we're mixing it up a little. Ready?
Yes.
FMK, fuck, marry, kill. Brand at 18.
Brand was
17 in this. Oh, I'm Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin, okay.
But he's 18, so I'm giving you that.
Done and done. No,
Sloth.
Oh, God.
And Troy, the rich, snotty kid that liked the girls.
Okay. All right. I got it.
Oh, you're not going to give the music time to... like, I don't have it yet. One moment.
I guess we do have the music.
Okay.
All right. I am going to marry Brand, F Troy, and kill Sloth.
Yes.
What else is there?
I know. I guess what else is there?
What is that? I'm not going to marry Sloth. I'm not going to have sex with Sloth.
I guess so. Yeah,
I'm
you
not
wouldn't want to
gonna
marry
Troy.
I mean, if you were like a gold digging hussy, you'd probably marry Troy.
Oh, on second thought. Just kidding.
Yeah,
okay.
that was pretty generous.
Yeah, thank you very much for that.
Yeah, well, it's my birthday. I want to be nice.
That's right. That's right. You gave me a birthday gift.
There you go.
Thank you. So, okay. So, I have a match game.
Great.
So, did you know, we did a little research on One-Eyed Willie.
Okay.
Okay. And come to find out, he was married.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and his wife was pretty popular amongst the boys. You should have known that by her name, 3 blank Susie.
Oh my God.
One-Eyed Willie.
I think there's a glitch in your question, but I'm gonna go with it.
Is 3 blank Susie.
Ding. This is pretty good. You know what's so funny about that? Because One-Eyed Willie,
Yeah.
like as an adult, you're like, oh, One-Eyed Willie. It's like a penis. And so, but I was thinking, I was thinking of one. I'm like, oh, like when I was gonna do something where it's like One-Eyed Willie before he was a captain or a pirate. He actually had a brief stint as a blank, and like as a stripper or whatever.
Very cute.
All right, so 3.
So One-Eyed Willie had a wife who was very popular with the boys, and her name was 3 blank Susie.
So I struggled a little bit because it's like I think it should begin with an S, like one. Although One-Eyed Willie, like the one Willie. So then 3, it's tough. But I put boobed.
Oh, okay, that's good.
What did you put?
I said 3 booby Susie. So it's a match.
Yay!
But I like booby because it was Susie,
It's booby Susie.
3 booby Susie.
That's cute.
Thank you. So that was Goonies. Happy birthday, Brian.
Thank you. No, really quick. So can you put them in order of how you like them? So, Neverending Story.
Yeah.
Oh, first it was Xanadu. They're
Right.
very different, but I have faith in you. Xanadu, Moonstruck, Neverending Story, and The Goonies.
God, you asked me to do this last
I know.
time, and I know
But I'm gonna
it's
keep- I'm gonna do it-
it's probably going to be different because I can't remember now.
I know what you said last time.
Really?
I do. You loved Neverending Story.
I did. Yeah. Well, I was already going to say that. So,
Yeah.
all right. So favorite to least favorite.
Yeah.
All right. So obviously, Never-Ending Story.
Yeah.
Yes, that was my favorite. Next, I think I would say Moonstruck.
Yes. Very good. You're on brand. Yeah.
Oh my God. Then Xanadu.
Mm-hmm.
And then Goonies.
Yeah.
Could you
Very
do that
good.
with mine?
So yours were, you had French Kiss and
I already know what you're going to say anyway.
I remember The Jerk, French Kiss, and
Dog Day Afternoon. Because I only have 3 right now.
Right.
I know what you're going to say.
And yeah, so 1, 2, 3. So Dog Day Afternoon is 1.
Yeah.
French Kiss is 2, and
Yeah.
The Jerk is like a distant 3rd. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't even know
like
who you're going to
The
pick
Jerk
for
at
your 4th, but I'm pretty sure The Jerk will still be
you hate
along
The
the
Jerk.
bottom. Can I tell you, so I've been following recently Siskel and Ebert. It's an archival Instagram account. I encourage everyone to do it. It's really fun watching these old movie reviews. They hated The Jerk.
Isn't that funny?
I'm really shocked. I thought this was like a critical and box office smash, and I never knew that neither of them liked it. And it was very similar to what we were saying.
Yeah.
How it's like, it's not a movie. It's not a sustainable, like, movie. It's like just Steve Martin acting like a goofball and everyone around him. A jerk.
Like a
Yeah.
jerk.
You know,
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Anyway. All right, so that was the Goonies. Happy birthday, Brian.
Finally. And that's it for us and for this episode of Old Roommates.
Thank you for listening. Please remember to follow us on Instagram or YouTube, where we have our episodes as well as a little extra.
And if you have any questions about our show, any suggestions for movies we could revisit, reach out to us at oldroommatespod@gmail.com.
Thanks again for listening.
This is Brian.
And this is Christina. Until next time.